Government promises to take care of you, like a controlling boyfriend.
You might not think that you love me, but it's still my job to protect you.
This is a big part of what I do, is protect people from choices.
That's why you should choose to break up with big government.
Are you breaking up with me?
Yes, government has weapons. But remember,
You're needy, you're jealous, you're manipulative. I can't take it anymore. It's crazy. Don't call me crazy!
it's dangerous to disagree with government. Government has the guns, and it knows so much about you.
Stop spying on me! You're an arrogant jerk who screws up everything he touches.
Let's break up with government.
We're done.
What was that odd film clip we just played where I compare that girl breaking up with a guy to breaking up with government? Well, it's a new web TV series by the Independent Institute that actually is about breaking up with government. It's designed to make the problems caused by government more accessible to people by portraying government as an overbearing boyfriend named Gov. The series is called Love Gov, and it's gotten nearly 2 million views.
I know we just met, Alexis, but I care deeply about you. Maybe more than you care about yourself.
That's the kind of thing politicians often say, and the lead character, Alexis, like most Americans, falls for his promises.
I'm gonna buy a house.
Good! Because home ownership, that's the American dream. And everyone deserves to be a part of it. Everyone.
Too many young people do seem to love government. So I'm glad the Independent Institute made Love Gov to tell young people the truth. People like Austin Peterson, who runs the website libertarianrepublic.com, and Alexis Gerritsen, who interned at the Independent Institute. Alexis, you have the same name as the star in the film. Did they do it after you?
No, actually after Alexis de Tocqueville.
Okay. And Austin, I mean, you're a long time now libertarian, so you're not being educated by this, but you've now watched this. Is this a good thing?
It does. And, you know, when you see Bernie Sanders getting all these tens of thousands of young people across college campuses, you know that something like this is being shared amongst them and it's got them talking. So I'm glad somebody's doing this.
Almost all the media that young people consume pushes a big government, anti-capitalist message. Here's a clip from the highest grossing movie of all time.
That's right.
Avatar's villain is a mining company.
This little gray rock sells for $20 million a kilo.
To get it, the miners will destroy the indigenous people's land.
Those savages are threatening our whole operation.
So you guys consume this. Doesn't it make you mad?
It does. You know, pop culture really gets people going, though. You know, one of the most successful ways that I've been able to educate people about small government is to take the story of Game of Thrones and to contrast that to limited government, in that they have the Night's Watch. And one of our heroes, Robert Nozick, talks about the Night Watchman state. And it's very similar to that situation of Game of Thrones. And so all of a sudden, tens of thousands of young people who love Game of Thrones are reading about minarchy and Nozick and the ideas of limited government because they're interested in pop culture first. So maybe that's the way to do it. Maybe we need to not be so wonky, be a little bit more fun.
And Alexis, you've learned more about some of these things through the Students for Liberty group.
Right. There's a really large and growing international movement for liberty, and I think that's a really hopeful sign.
How do you know it's growing? What do you see?
There are students across Africa that are registering for our regional convention, and
like hundreds?
Hundreds, thousands.
Thousands.
We are really seeing a huge movement for liberty. There was the Million Man March earlier this year in Brazil, and Hong Kong has seen a student revolution for liberty as well. And there's really just an internationally growing presence of young people excited about limited government and, you know, personal responsibility. And
how'd you get it? What taught you?
I really was interested in socialism at first, and I was buying into...
Like a lot of young people, and Bernie's fan.
Right, buying into the idea that government was the solution to all of our problems. And I started to read a lot more and realized that, you know, the government is actually hurting us more than it's helping us, kind of like Alexis in the series does. She realizes over time that Gov is really actually hurting her and hurting her chances at a future. And so through reading and learning...
Reading what?
I read The Law by Bastiat first, and just really opened my eyes. And reading Law, Legislation, and Liberty from Hayek.
Austin, how did you get it?
Yeah, I was in an airport one day and I picked up a book called Give Me a Break. And
I've been waiting for someone to say this on this show so that I could hold this up here.
Yeah, I was shocked because you were saying that maybe prostitution should be legal, and that offended me. And then I I took a chance and I learned a little bit more about it, and I realized that you were right. And you know, it's because of you that I'm here today.
We have a new, updated, newer book.
Yeah.
I'll plug it. I'll plug it.
Yeah, but I'm legitimately serious, John. That's why I've declared I'm going to run for president as a libertarian.
Yeah, you're not old enough to be president.
I will be, though. I'll be 35 years old in February, which will make me constitutionally eligible.
So you are running, you hope you'll get the Libertarian Party nomination over Gary Johnson, which is possible if you out-talk him at the convention.
That's correct. I think that Gary Johnson's a tremendous guy, but I think that I might be able to do better. I think that we've got a lot of young people that are interested in these ideas, but perhaps they don't want an older guy. I mean, I know Bernie Sanders kind of flies in the face of that logic, but libertarians
or Ron Paul.
Yeah, that's true, but Gary Johnson did have a chance, and I think that maybe if the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, maybe we ought to switch it up, and I think I can do a good job and introduce more people to these ideas.
And one thing that bothers me about the video is that they portray the hero, in my opinion, Libby, as a nerd. And Emergent Order, which made the film, said, yeah, we wanted to be accurate, put her on the Asperger's spectrum.
Hey, proud nerd here. I mean, come on. You know, to be a libertarian, you kind of have to read. You know, most of us are indoctrinated into the left-right paradigm, but then we have to read books like this and The Law and Bastiat to sort of break out of the conventional wisdom of what most people believe today.
I think that it takes a lot of thought to, you know, push
people
back
who
against.
think a lot are nerdy?
Yeah, well, actually, if you look at the numbers online, one of the things that you see is that socialists have an enormous market share online. Libertarians have a large market share, but conservatives have a very small market share. So I think that we'll see a demographic twist over the next 10, 20, 30 years as the older generation, who are the only people being polled right now, which is incidentally why Rand Paul may not be showing up in some of these higher poll results, because young people aren't being counted.
They aren't being counted because they don't have landlines?
Because they don't have landlines, that's right.
And young people are tired of establishment politics. That's why you see the student movement for Bernie, who's, you know, far left and outside of the Democrat sort of establishment. And you see the student movement for Rand Paul, who is pushing back against establishment politics as well. And I think it's just a matter of time before, you know, as we grow up, we're going to push politics in more interesting and exciting directions.